There is more about Antarctica that is being covered up than we think.
Something about this hole that is now causing these problems.
Brian, a famous explorer, found a huge glowing hole in the Antarctic ice. This was just the beginning of his problems. His plane's instruments instantly malfunctioned, requiring an urgent fix mid-flight. Once on the ground, mysterious figures seized his records and sternly warned him and his crew to stay silent. What is so critical that it led to an immediate shutdown of the area? Join us. Let's uncover what they're desperately trying to hide beneath the ice. A hidden reality. Men in black suits, along with high-ranking naval officers, showed up at McMurdo and demanded that Brian take back what he said about the unidentified craft. He refused, even though he faced serious consequences. A few weeks later, while exploring a distant area, Brian picked up a weak distress signal coming from beneath an ice shelf. He tracked it to a strange circular opening in the ice, which was glowing oddly. As they tried to investigate, their aircraft systems completely shut down. Fortunately, they managed to restore power and escape safely. Back at base, Brian sent a secret message about the strange ice cavity, and soon after, classified convoys rushed to the site. But this wasn't the end of the story. Brian was later called into a secret meeting with officials from DARPA, where he was warned to keep quiet about his incredible findings in Antarctica. Brian noticed a strange pattern of missing scientists and abandoned research stations in Antarctica over the years. It was like a real-life mystery novel, with secrets that seemed both thrilling and scary. Brian felt really bad about staying quiet about these strange events happening in the icy parts of the continent. He knew his friends had taken big risks to uncover the truth. Looking for someone to confide in, he met Linda Howe, a passionate researcher who was determined to expose these mysteries and uncover any hidden activities in Antarctica. Linda had spent years digging into the mystery, gathering stories from military personnel that backed up what Brian had found. These stories included sightings of high-tech aircraft near the South Pole, strange radio signals, and unknown objects moving incredibly fast through the Southern Ocean. There were also secret satellite images showing temporary dome-like structures on the icy continent that were quickly destroyed, possibly to hide secret operations. Linda's research also uncovered early deaths among experts studying Antarctica, hinting at something sinister happening on the ice. Her investigation found long-standing secret trips to Antarctica by powerful military and scientific groups, sparking debates about their real intentions. Even though Antarctica is meant to be a place for scientific study, increasing claims by different countries have raised political tensions. People are worried about the exploitation of natural resources and potential military actions. Right now, Linda is facing interference from mysterious government bodies as she digs deeper into the growing secrecy and defense-related issues in Antarctica. But despite these challenges, support for her work is growing. The fate of our planet depends on understanding Antarctica's role and future, yet that understanding is often blocked by those in power. But this wasn't the worst part. It's crucial to support truth seekers like Linda and look at the situation with a careful yet open mind. As more information about Antarctica emerges, we should focus on learning and facing uncomfortable facts rather than giving in to fear. It's a time to value truth over silence or denial, even if it changes what we know about history. Brian's journey in Antarctica reveals strange events that lead him deeper into the unknown. Antarctica's hidden sky mysteries. Brian's time in Antarctica felt more like a scene from a sci-fi movie set against the icy white landscape. Scientists vanished, and many were scared into silence, adding to the creepy vibe surrounding Brian's experiences. What puzzled him the most were the strange, shiny objects performing impossible tricks in the bright skies above Antarctica. On one trip over the Queen Maud Mountains, Brian and his team saw metallic discs popping out one by one from behind a snowy peak. These discs, about the size of a large backyard trampoline, moved in perfect formation and glided toward Mount Fridtjof. Their surfaces were dull and didn't reflect light, standing out against the clear blue sky. Their movements were beyond anything human technology could achieve. They spun in unison, sped up suddenly, and turned mid-air without any visible engines. After 15 minutes of this strange show, the disks disappeared behind the mountain, leaving Brian and his team shocked by the advanced technology they had witnessed. But the strangest discovery was yet to come. Brian found a huge hole in the Antarctic ice that led to a glowing underground cavern. The edge of the hole was smoother than anything a machine could drill, and it gave off a mysterious blue light. As they got closer, all their equipment failed. Radar, navigation, and controls all went crazy within a kilometer of this strange cave, causing chaos. Brian wrote about this experience, noting the electromagnetic oddities and fast-moving objects shooting out of the cave at incredible speeds. But his report was quickly seized by unknown people who wanted to keep these discoveries quiet. These events left Brian deeply worried, echoing old stories about mysterious underground areas in Antarctica, from Admiral Byrd's secret naval missions in 1947. Brian even took solo flights over this strange region where weird electrical disturbances messed with his equipment. During his last mission in a restricted area, Brian came across a strange metal disc hidden in an icy cave. All of a sudden, the disc shot up quickly, shining a bright light that disabled all of Brian's equipment. 20 minutes later, Brian was able to control his aircraft again, but he was shocked to find that he had mysteriously moved 13 kilometers away from the cave. He couldn't remember how his plane had traveled during the time he lost control. But that wasn't the worst part. Despite trying many times to return to the cave, Brian couldn't get back because of bad weather and strict flying rules. This meant he could never find the entrance to the cave again. Over time, Brian quietly talked to other pilots, who also had encounters with these strange metal discs around the bases in Antarctica. A colleague near Euler Peak showed evidence of unidentified submerged objects in the Weddell Sea, where metallic structures would emerge and disappear silently. Another friend managed to get satellite images that revealed strange heat patterns under Wilkes Land, suggesting that there might be temporary shelters or bases hidden under the ice. These talks hinted at secret operations deep within the Antarctic ice, possibly linked to the unusual aircraft Brian saw flying over the ice fields. These strange encounters continued to disturb Brian's sleep, and the unresolved nature of these events troubled him deeply. But he wasn't the only one. A growing group of experienced veterans also wanted to know the truth about Antarctica. With plans for space agencies to set up bases at the South Pole, humanity might soon have to face the unsettling realities of what, or who, exists in the most remote parts of Antarctica. The strange happenings push Brian toward discoveries that could change what we know about Earth. The Antarctic Question. However, this wasn't the end of the mystery. Brian's story is crucial in understanding the strange events happening in Antarctica. It challenges what we know about human history and makes us rethink our place on a planet that might have more intelligent beings than we realize. Facing these truths, even if they're hard, is important for our growth and understanding. Brian's incredible experiences in Antarctica also connect with historical stories, especially those of Admiral Richard Byrd, the famous American explorer. Byrd became a national hero after his pioneering flights over the poles in the 1920s. But it was his 1947 expedition that really captured the public's imagination when he reported discovering a vast, warm area beyond the icy landscapes, filled with unusual animals and dominated by disc-shaped aircraft. Yet this wasn't the strangest part. When Byrd returned, his claims were quickly suppressed, his records taken, and his team silenced. At first, Byrd's reputation protected him from being completely dismissed. But eventually, under pressure and supposed psychiatric evaluation by the Navy, Byrd withdrew his statements. The strong efforts to silence him and his team highlighted the high stakes involved in keeping Antarctic discoveries secret. This suppression only made the public more suspicious and curious about what might be hidden in Antarctica. While official reports dismissed Byrd's claims as the fantasies of a man affected by the harsh polar environment, many remained doubtful, especially as the denials contradicted the respected explorer's initial vivid descriptions of a lush, hidden world filled with advanced technologies and huge creatures. The potential impact of such discoveries on science, history, and society is significant and far-reaching. The beginning, people were mostly focused on protecting national interests and competing with other powerful countries for control over Antarctica's resources. They also wanted to make it seem like everything was normal. The US Navy was likely worried that the Soviets might use a secret part of Antarctica as a way to attack America's weak points in the Pacific. Scientists were nervous that new discoveries in physics and advanced health sciences, which had been hidden for a long time, might come to light. Political leaders didn't want to cause panic by revealing that our current maps of the Earth were missing important information. The intense secrecy from top world leaders after the information from Admiral Byrd was hidden showed they were worried about more than just national pride or science. Byrd's statements suggested that Antarctica might be hiding information that could change our understanding of humanity and its origins. Documents released later showed that the US government kept an eye on every person from Byrd's 1947 team until they passed away, suggesting they were seen as a security risk, not just because of politics, but because of what they experienced. But this wasn't the worst part. It seems clear that those in power knew Byrd's findings were about more than just land or technology. By sharing his surprising discoveries about Antarctica while he was still there, Admiral Byrd probably wanted to get the word out before others could stop him. At first, his plan worked, as the US media quickly spread amazing news about him finding a warm, life-filled land beyond the South Pole. However, things changed when Byrd had to take back his words under orders to keep quiet a few weeks later. This allowed the government to damage his reputation, and Antarctica faded from public interest for many years until people like Brian, a retired military person, spoke up. The hidden truths about Antarctica slowly started coming out again. Brian talked about seeing strange silver objects and a brightly lit ice cave deep under Antarctica, reminding people of Byrd's stories of vast hidden areas with mysterious vehicles. These similar stories over the years, now supported by Linda's research, made a strong case that those in power have been trying to cover up since the 1940s, using media tricks and scare tactics. Hidden truths start to emerge, making us rethink the history we thought we knew. Exposing Antarctica's long-kept secrets. Unlike in Byrd's time, when a few people controlled the media and unchecked leaders held power, today's internet age of open information makes it hard to keep Antarctica's mysteries hidden. A global movement has grown on social media, driven by Linda's findings, challenging the long-held silence about the icy continent. These truths, once hard for officials to accept, have been too consistent over many years and witnesses to ignore. For a long time, maps only showed the vague outline of Antarctica, but details about what lay inside were hidden. While scientists sometimes joke about mapping planets like Mars, they admit they know little about the deep conditions in Antarctica that separate the Earth's surface from its moving outer layer beneath the ice. Yet, this wasn't the end of the story. Recent studies suggest it's unlikely that explorers like Amundsen and Scott could have crossed unknown mountain ranges on their way to the South Pole that were never considered in their plans. It's possible that, due to changes affecting Antarctica's climate or the rise and fall of civilizations, advanced beings might have lived in Antarctica long before humans. Linda's ongoing investigations reveal a long-standing effort by military and archaeological groups, along with powerful international players, to keep Antarctica's deep and transformative truths under wraps. But as more scientists and private experts who have left their positions share their stories, the ignorance about the Earth's far southern edge is being challenged. What happens next could either unite the world or divide humanity deeply, depending on how we respond to these profound and unsettling truths. Antarctica is known as the coldest, driest, and windiest place on Earth. It's a huge icy land at the very bottom of our planet. It covers about 32.5 million square miles, making it a place of extreme conditions. Even though Antarctica is vast, not many people live there. Fewer than 10,000 brave souls, mostly scientists, live and work in these extreme conditions to discover what lies beneath the ice. Temperatures can drop to a freezing minus 56.2 degrees Fahrenheit, and sometimes even colder, down to minus 128.2 degrees Fahrenheit. The winds in Antarctica are incredibly strong, reaching speeds up to 186 miles per hour, faster than a cheetah can run. With snowstorms that can last for weeks, Antarctica is a place that truly tests human endurance. But that's not even the most surprising part. Hidden under all that ice are things that could change what we know about history. For example, the Peary Race map from the 1500s showed Antarctica way before it was officially discovered in 1820. This kind of detail has puzzled historians and scientists, leading to more research and debate. Antarctica has remained mostly untouched because of its isolation. The Antarctic Treaty of 1959 protects it, making it a place for scientific exploration without much human interference. This treaty has turned Antarctica into a global research hub, focusing on studying the climate and atmosphere away from city distractions. The freezing temperatures have also preserved ancient meteorites and microorganisms, giving us clues about the solar system's past. These meteorites offer invaluable information about space, while tiny fossils in the ice reveal amazing stories of survival and adaptation. But the most exciting part is yet to come. Antarctica is not just a place for science. It's also breathtakingly beautiful. The glacial landscapes, with their vibrant blue ice caves and slowly moving ice rivers, are stunning. Being in such a pristine environment can be a moving experience, inspiring art, photography, poetry, and storytelling. Antarctica's story is about survival and discovery and the challenges of protecting this unique place, a clash of conservation and capital. However, this beautiful icy land is threatened by global warming. Antarctica plays a crucial role in regulating climate and global weather patterns, with its ice sheets acting as the Earth's natural water reservoirs. Rising global temperatures are causing more ice to melt and destabilizing some areas, raising concerns about rising sea levels and the Antarctic ecosystem. Efforts to protect Antarctica's unique environment include creating protected areas, regulating fishing activities, and monitoring wildlife at risk, such as penguins and whales. These efforts are essential to maintaining the balance of life in one of Earth's most extraordinary places. There's a lot of excitement about Antarctica these days, but there's also a lot of debate over who owns what. Big countries like Russia, China, and the United States are very interested in the continent because it might have valuable things like minerals and oil hidden under the ice. The Antarctic Treaty of 1959 was supposed to keep things peaceful and cooperative, but now it's under stress as countries compete for these resources. The big question is whether we can keep Antarctica the way it is while dealing with climate change, international politics, and our desire to explore and make money. Some people think we should leave the continent untouched, while others want to take advantage of its natural resources. This ongoing conflict highlights the tension between protecting the environment and going after economic opportunities. Despite all this, Antarctica remains a peaceful place. The animals that live there have figured out how to survive the harsh winters, and its ancient mountains have seen many different eras come and go. There's still so much we don't know about this icy world, its strange land shapes, its unpredictable weather, and the creatures that live there. Antarctica is like a big treasure chest of wonders, possibly holding secrets about how life can endure in such tough conditions. As the famous explorer Sir Ernest Shackleton suggested, there's a deeper truth to uncover about surviving in polar regions. But this isn't the most surprising part. Antarctica is not just another chapter in Earth's history, it's a story we're just beginning to understand. Antarctica isn't just a big ice land, it's a breathtaking display of Earth's untouched beauty. Those who visit it are often moved by its stunning sights, like bright blue ice caves lit by frozen microbes and glaciers winding their way to the ocean. The visual wonders of Antarctica leave a lasting impression. Nowadays, adventurous people take cruises to Antarctica to witness a unique wildlife spectacle set against stunning icy backgrounds. Imagine meeting curious penguins up close, unbothered as they wander on volcanic sands between icy waters and towering frozen cliffs. And don't forget the Southern Lights, a dazzling display of green and violet lights dancing across the night sky, creating a mesmerizing, dreamlike effect. But that's not all. Antarctica offers even more wonders. Even a brief visit reveals an extraordinary world of beauty and rarity at the planet's edge. Explorer Wally Herbert once said that no place on Earth has stirred such deep feelings as the starkly beautiful Antarctic Peninsula. Protecting Antarctica isn't just about the environment. It's about preserving a rare gem that continuously inspires creativity with its incredible magnificence. Truly, it is nature's masterpiece. Underneath its stunning surface, Antarctica hides a world waiting to be explored. The Antarctic ice sheet, holding about 70% of the planet's fresh water, covers a mysterious landscape of subglacial lakes, rivers, and canyons. This continent is not only the largest ice reservoir, but also a place we are just beginning to understand. With advanced technologies like satellite imagery and ice-penetrating radar, scientists have started to uncover this hidden world. Imagine navigating a maze of water pathways flowing silently beneath miles of ice, a secret water kingdom only now coming to light. And the real intrigue lies in whether unique microbes, thriving in extreme cold and darkness, could give us clues about life on similarly harsh planets. Beneath Antarctica's ice lies untold secrets. Could its hidden ecosystems hold clues to extraterrestrial life? Like, comment, and subscribe for more.